So good morning. My name is Sarah Nami. I'm the principal designer of a new LA-based fashion women's wear line called Nami. I really think about fashion everywhere I go. Actually, it was like that before. Even when I was working on my PhD, anywhere I go, I always looked at people. I found myself looking at people and how they coordinated their outfits. Um, I also imagine in my head how I would have done it differently or the same. Everywhere I go, I feel like I'm looking at things as a source of inspiration. Fashion can be an anthropology. It's really the study of people and their culture and their time, and it can tell a lot about that time period in history, just based upon their clothing. And it reflects a lot about, the current, state of economy or the current state of mind. Are we, a bit depressed, or are we in an era of, the Renaissance where like new ideas are flourishing, or maybe it's right now it's the era of new technology, which is coming up and showing up in the types of fabrics that are being invented right now. And it's about shielding against the sun or being sustainable and green, being thinking about the earth. There's various versions of cherry blossom trees, and I got to see a whole range between petals that are white, light and pink color, blush, uh, a kind of a peach, and I use those as a color inspiration for the current season. And then you see these petals against this kind of dark gray and black trunk of the trees, and I use that also as color inspiration. And then finally, you saw some of the blues and the aquas, and I used that from all the trees that were against the bright blue sky, and it was just beautiful. But I also used the fabric inspiration from this trip as well because, just the way the chiffon moves around the woman's body. If you ever been to a park filled with cherry blossoms, like all around you, a gust of wind goes through and it will knock off all these petals, and the petals are swirling all around you, and you're looking up into the sky, you don't have a care in the world, and it just feels so light. And I just thought, chiffon feels this way on a body. It's very light, you barely notice that's on you. And so I took the chiffon from this experience as well, but I did add Chanel, which is a lightweight wool, because spring in Chicago, where I spend a good deal of time as well, you cannot wear chiffon in spring. I really want my styles and my collection to seem effortless to women. You put it on, add a few accessories, and you just look great because it fits great on your body. My earliest memories of fashion, or memory of fashion. Actually, I was living in Wisconsin. My dad was stationed there, and it was really really cold. I spent a lot of time indoors during the winter, and it was like one of those days after a huge snowfall. You feel kind of cozy at home. And I discovered my mom's really, really huge green maxi skirt. It had a ton of fabric on it. And I remember wearing it on top of my sweatpants because I was already cold, and I had a sweatshirt on top. And I just remember spinning and wearing that skirt all over the house. I just loved how the fabric just played around me, and I just spun in circles all the time. I just love that skirt. I plan on having that skirt in the future collection because of that memory. I do plan on bringing this company to the point where I can provide a lot of the fabrics in a sustainable manner, or that's green and organic. I get the greatest high from giving, really. And I've been telling other people this as well. I really hope this brand becomes a bit of a means to an end. I do want to eventually have a philanthropic foundation where I could do something where I can go to Nepal and support the local economy. The purpose of us on this earth really is to, better the lives of others if we can. We're not an island all to ourselves, right? We are social creatures. The most meaningful things come from relationships with people, interrelationships with people. I'd really like to influence, younger generations, or, I don't really know if like I would see myself as an influencer, but if I had other people see me, like what I'd like other people to see me and my brand as, is that as an example of how you can take something like this as a business in the fashion industry and really give back. Don't be afraid to ask questions and reach out to those who you might think are mentors. I used to be a dresser for a bunch of fashion shows when I was a student in FITM, and one of them happened to really, really helped me out a lot, and she's been a sort of a mentor to me, and I've always gone to her to ask questions, and she's given me great contacts. And so again, work hard and volunteer for everything possible. Open yourself up for opportunities. Don't really say no to everything. I'm not saying yes to everything either, but just be open to opportunities, be open to people, getting to know people. They're fascinating. Everybody plays a role in this industry. Life is too short to be shy and not ask questions, and just try it. If you're afraid to ask, or if you're afraid to try, the worst thing that anyone can say is no. And if you already know that, then you're okay. There's no way of failing. Anything other than a no is a success. So I've been taking that as my mantra for the past few years. I really do hope that at the end of my life, and I can look back at my life, that I've really helped just one human being live a better life.